Hello guys, Lid here. So on this video I want to go over my build. A lot of people asking about it, so I will go over all my skill gem, passive item and all that stuff. But before we go into that, I want to be very clear. I do not have the budget version of this build. Even the early version, when the first time I built this character, I already put quite a lot of currency on it, so I do not know how it performed on budget. And as far as I know, Bloodmage COC is a build that you go into when you have currency. So let's begin with the skill gems. The first one is Life Remnants. This is something you get from Bloodmage. Just put Remnant Potency and Harmonic Remnants. And the next one is Spellslinger. My Spellslinger level 20. This is coming from your 1. You don't have to use level 20. I think I first start at level 18. So you definitely do not need the level 20. And for the support, and I put in the comet because this is a thing that we trigger on this build. So comet, spell cascade, and area effect. This is going to make your comet shoot 3 projectile, and it basically give you a lot of coverage. And for the last one is bonus energy and energy retentions. Bonus energy is very straightforward. It make your meta skill get more energy because all the meta skill that cast something is going to use energy. So for examples like the Spellslinger, it's going to gain energy whenever you cast a spell. And something like cast on crit, you will gain energy whenever you crit something. Cast on elemental element, you will get energy whenever you freeze, shock, ignite something. And for the energy retentions, this is really strong when you combine them with energize, which is a node over here. This one gives you 25% chance, and the gem gives you 35% chance. So you basically have 60% chance to refund half of that energy cost. And this is the reason why you can chain cast the comet. And the next one is the trigger spell. I'm using elemental weakness. And the spark over here is just to check your crit. And this is because if you open the tab on elemental weakness, you don't see the DOT undoing. Because elemental weakness is a curse, it doesn't really do damage, and therefore you cannot crit. But when you combine them with DOT undoing, DOT undoing have the DOT attack design. Your curse now will deal chaos damage, and it also have a crit chance. Now the base crit chance here is 7%, but we are Blood Mage, and there is an ascendancy here that basically make all your spell based crit chance become 15%. So doesn't matter what the crit set here, the base is 15 for all spell. So because we do not see a crit chance here, the easy way to do it is by just socketing any spell, because the base crit chance for every spell is the same. Just scroll down, you see the critical hits. You want to make sure your critical hit chance is 100%. And for the elemental witness itself, you want the undoing. And for the other support gems, Ritual Discourse will give you more AoE. And Spell Cascade also give you more coverage. It's basically what make you able to cast like triple curse like this. That is because of the Spell Cascade. And then the next one is Tool Stillness. This will make the chaos damage able to freeze. And because of the deal detection, you basically deal mostly chaos damage. And this will make it easier to freeze enemy. And it make it easier to trigger the case on elemental element. You don't really have to use this one, I think. You probably can use something else's, although I don't really find something else's because you cannot use something like Zenith because we do not have any mana. So I'm using Tool Stillness, and the last one is Magnify Area. This is just to get more AoE. And for the custom crit and custom elemental element, the support gem is the same. Double comet, 1 spell cascade, energy retentions, and bonus energy. Now, we already talked about the energy retentions. And for the double comet, the reason why there is double comet here, because there is a line on the custom crit that said that it have 10 maximum energy per 0.1 second of the base cast time. And because the cast time of comet is pretty long, this is going to give you a lot of maximum energy. And the reason why the maximum energy matters, because of the energy retention and energize that I showed earlier, you have 60% chance to refund the energy cost. And because of the cast time of the comet, you have bigger maximum energy, and the refund will be bigger too. And spell cascade is just to get more coverage. The same with the cast elemental element. It also have the same line where you have that maximum energy per second spell. So I'm using 4 comet basically, and this is quite hefty for your life cost. So if it's too much, you can take off one of them, and you can put in something like Living Bomb. Living Bomb is actually pretty good because it gives you Fire Infusion. And the reason why Fire Infusion is strong, because on the comet, if you check the Fire Infuse part, it basically gives you more than double damage. So this one only gives you 2800 to 4300, And the fire infused versions give you 3600 to 5400, and there's two of them. So the comet is a lot stronger when it fire infused. And the reason why I'm not using this, because I hate the fire infusion. So for people who don't know, fire infusion is like remnant over here, where it's basically going to drop the item on the ground and you have to like basically pick it up. And I just hate that playstyle. So that's the reason why I'm not using living bomb. But just note that you can use these combinations to get you fire infusions. I just don't want to deal with it. And that's the reason why you see me using 4 comet over here. And if you check another person POB, most of them I think will use living bomb to get the fire infusion. I just hate the fire infusion mechanic. So that's basically about the skill gem. We use only like 1, 2, 3. There's only 3 skill gems, so it's pretty simple. And for the items, the first one is the wand. The most important part of the wand is the critical hit chance. You really want to have T1 here, or at least T2. And then the next one is the level of all spell skills. The +4 is expensive. I start at +3. And the difference in +3 and +4 in terms of price is really big. So if you want to cut costs, just go for the +3. And the next one, you want spell damage and double extra damage, like cold, fire, lightning, doesn't matter what it is. And the last one is cast speed. And in my opinion, cast speed is the least priority stat. Just get any cast speed or critical damage bonus, I think is also fine. Having cast speed is nice because it makes you cast faster, obviously. It just makes the game feels more fluid. But I don't think you need this. You probably can put like rapid casting here and you'll be fine. And the next one is rapid. And I have the normal rapid here. This focus is really strong because we have a lot of life. I have 4,400. And it will give you 6% increased damage and 3% increased chance per 100 maximum life. So this focus is going to give you a lot of DPS. But it have a downside where it also going to give you additional costs. Basically 6% of your maximum life. And the one that I'm using is the one that have that mod removed. So for the focus, you just want to remove this one mod over here. And if you want to do it yourself, you can corrupt this and basically using cultivation orbs. And hopefully you remove that mod and still have the rest of the mods. And this one, the one that I'm using, is not expensive. I do price check them previously. I think it's still like few divine. It's not really that expensive because you're not really searching for any specific mod. You just want to remove that one mod. And any mod that you get is fine. It doesn't affect us whatsoever. So it doesn't matter what the red mod is. You just want to remove this line over here that give you additional costs. And for the helmet, I'm using Alpha Howl because it gives you spirit, gives you resistance. Mostly because of spirit. 100 spirit is a lot because we need the spirit to be able to use this too. And other than that, you don't really need anything from this helmet. You can go for like double socket. I don't think it's that expensive. If you only have one socket, just go for the cost efficiency. This is going to reduce the life cost of your skill, which is going to make it easier to custom. And for the boots, you just want movement speed, maximum life, and any energy sheet that you can find. And you want as much resistance on the suffix. And for the glove, you want maximum life and ideally harvest life. This will give you more life. And then on the suffixes, just get as much resistance as you can. And if you have more currency, go for crit damage bonus. I think crit damage bonus will make it more expensive. But if it's too expensive, just focus on getting as much resistance as you can. And for the body armor, the most important one is the number of the energy shield. And this is because of the note over here. Gain additional maximum life equal to 100% of item energy shield on equipped body armor. So I have 4,400. If I take off my body armor, I go down to 3,000. So with this body armor give me a lot of life. And that's the reason why you want as high energy shield on your body armor as high as possible. And for the suffix, just get as much stress as you can. And that's basically about the body armor. And for the ring, the most important stat is life and resistance. You don't need the remnant has increased effect. You don't really need the rarity unless you want to. In my case, I do want to go for rarity, so I get as much rarity as I can. But if you just want to make the build works, just get as much resistance and get as much life as you can. And for the amulet, the most important part is the all spell skill. If plus the expensive, go for +2. And if you can get the critical hit chance, that's good. If you cannot, I think it's fine. But you do want the increased maximum life and you also want the flat life. And ideally, you also want the increased maximum energy shield, because the energy shield is also part of your defense. And for the anointment, go for fast metabolisms, because if you want to get this node from something like Megalomaniac, it will be very, very expensive. So just put the fast metabolism here. And for the belt, just use Thunder. I mean, it's basically the best belt for temple or mapping. It's really, really strong, and it's very, very cheap right now. And for the flask, I'm using All Road Resolve. This is really, really strong because of the amount of the life that you recover, and this is instant. And the excess life recovery also become guard. So this flask is mostly about defense, and it does helps a lot in terms of defense. But if you do not have the budget for the All Road, just go for like the life flask with instant recovery. Although that life flask will recover you less life, but you know, it's cheap. And for the charms, this is immunity to freeze. This one give onslaught, so that's nice. And the last one is Rite of Passage. This is optional. You don't really need this. I think this one is from my bear. I just moved it here. So you don't really have to use Rite of Passage. You can use another charm and you'll be fine. So that's basically about the items. And next is the passive tree for Ascendancy, Vitality Siphon, Thunder the Flash, Grasping Wound, and the Crimson Power. That's basically the Ascendancy. We already talked about this. And spell damage listed life is the reason why we play Bloodmage, because it's very hard to get a spell damage leech. Either you get it from here or you get it from Covenant. And I think Covenant with the right mod is very, very expensive. So having this node is really, really good. And we already talked about this. And this one is nice for defense. Like 25% of your life loss is prevented, and that's basically become a damage over time over 4 seconds. And for the passive tree itself, it's pretty standard, I will say. Like, this is just a crit stuff. This is crit and meta stuff. This is crit stuff, crit, and then this is also crit, and crit. So the passive tree is pretty simple. The keystone you want to have is Blood Magic, and this is because this will remove all your mana, but it will convert all your mana cost become life cost. And this is really important because we are chaining the comet, and there is no way to sustain your mana if your comet costs you mana. The way to cope with the cost is by converting everything to life, and then you use the spell leech like this. Either you get it from the Ascendancy or you get it from Covenant, and this way you can sustain the amount of cost you need to cast all the comet, because it's going to cost you a lot of life. I don't think you can sustain this in mana, and that's the reason why I'm going for the Blood Magic. And for the unique jewel, I'm using Heart of the Well. The most important mod is this one, Increase Energy Shield from Equip Body Armor, because this will give you a lot of energy shield. Like if I remove this, it go down to 3600. So this one give me a lot of energy shield. And get crit damage bonus, and the damage is extra. Damage is extra I think is optional, because I think that one is the one that make it expensive. And the second unique jewel that I'm using is Megalomaniac. In my case, I use it to get Energize, which is the node over here that I mentioned earlier. This node is really, really important. You really, really want this. But this jewel is pretty expensive. So the other options is to take off these 3 nodes over here and take off this 3 node over here, and you basically allocate the 6 node to get the Energize here. And you basically can use the Megalomaniac to get this one, or to get any damage node, basically. And for the other jewel, it'll look like this. Increase spell damage, AoE for curse, crit chance, crit damage. As simple as that. And for the crit chance and crit damage, there is a 2 versions of this. So there is a crit chance for spell and global crit chance. And there is also crit damage bonus for spell and also crit damage bonus global. Like this one is global, and this one is spell. It doesn't really matter because all of them works for this build. So whenever you search for your jewel, search for the global one, but also search for the spell one, because you can use both of them. And this cluster over here is mandatory. You really want to have this one, and this is because curse in Path of Exile 2 is not instant. So there is a delay whenever you cast them and it explodes. So there is a little bit of delay before it deals damage or the curse activate. And the way you make it as small as possible by taking this 4 node over here. So this will give you 10%, 10%, and this is 40%. So you like 70% faster curse activations, and this is really, really important. And the next one is this one. This will give your curse a lot of AoE. And I like to have the curse have a really big AoE. You're going to cover a lot of space. And I think that's basically it about the passive tree. Like there is nothing fancy. Like the weapon set 2 is basically just to get the rag radius. You don't really have to do it. But if you want to, all my weapon set 2 is just for the leg radius. There's no specific setup for it. And that's basically the entire tree. And also all the setup. I think the setup is pretty standard. It's not cheap to set up all of this. Like to get a body armor that have like at least 1,000 energy. I think is pretty expensive. Amulet is also pretty expensive, and one I think is the most expensive of all of them. So once again, I do not have the budget version, so don't ask me about the budget because I do not know how it's going to perform in budget. I just don't know because I never done it. So that's basically the setup, and as usual, if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comment below. I will try my best to answer it. So thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you on the next one.